So, hello and welcome back to another guide on skill rotations as a Guardian. And now we're looking at your rotations and what you're going to be doing when you're around level 40. So as you can see, my skill bar is looking a lot more filled, and I've reorganized it a little bit. So there's not much difference down here. So this is all the crowd control rotations. This is the single target rotations. In this video, we're focusing on this entire bottom row here, which is the single target rotations. Now there's only two skills that have been added here. And these two skills are this one at the front, called Hakon's Hammer, which you learn at around level 35. This skill here, Noble Onslaught, is it level, it's the first, no, not level 35, I lie. I think it's level 27. So basically this is the first skill you're going to learn, and you can see here, after level 25, this is the first skill you're going to learn after level 25. I think it's actually level 27, not 35. I don't know why I said 35. So yeah, this is the first skill you're going to learn, and it goes right at the front here, and at the very end is Noble Onslaught, which is the last skill you're going to learn. This is what you're going to learn at level 40. This is the currently your most powerful, really, attack in the game as a Guardian. So, what happens here is, main difference. So, you saw the skill rotation. I'll show you the previous skill. So this is what your rotation was originally. So as you see, I couldn't quite kill, despite being nearly 10 levels above that Ancient Protector, I couldn't quite kill the Ancient Protector with the entire stream that I had. However, with the addition of these two skills, I mean, Hakon's Hammer doesn't do a lot of damage, as you can see. It does more than Weapon Toss, not quite double, but nearly double what Weapon Toss does. But this one, Noble Onslaught, this is the killer. This is going to be what will kill a lot of your enemies for you. It has a combo up to 6 times, and that damage is really, really nice. So, and there's another thing I'm going to do. Now, in my last video when I was talking about level 25, I was saying how I wasn't going to put on any pledges because there wasn't much point. Well, Hakon's Hammer is basically one of the reasons you will have pledges on even if you're playing solo. So pledges have their uses in party because they affect more everyone that's within 40 meters. 30 meters, sorry. I should be able to read, but I can't. But Hakon's Hammer also has effect depending on what pledges you have. So as you can see, Pledge of Power gives you more health for each strike you do. Pledge of Brilliance, the enemy will be stunned for 5 seconds. And Pledge of Duty, the enemy loses 10% physical defense for 20 seconds. So all of these have some benefit of help. Now, partly because of the way I recommend putting Hakon's Hammer, and I would recommend if you're going around solo and the Pledge of Duty is actually the best one that works for Hakon's Hammer. Because I don't tend to use... With Pledge of Brilliance, I mean, that's only going to really be of use to you if you're in a party situation. Because on your own, Pledge of Brilliance does nothing to you. It literally, you don't have anything that requires cast time on the ground as a Guardian. I mean, it has a nice effect. Especially with the kind of purple accents of the Frost guard set. But other than that, it does nothing to you. Pledge of Power is nice for the health, but you would have to be using Hakon's Hammer on every, pretty much all of the time on your rotations. And you can do, if you'd rather. That's something you can do. Oh, hello there. He's going to go kill that guy. But for me, personally, because I tend to use it only at the beginning of rotations, he's going to kill all the protectors I wanted to fight. Oh dear. I find Pledge of Duty the most useful out of all of them. I mean, it's really nice that I think both of the effects from Pledge of Power and Pledge of Duty are really good, because they're the ones you're going to be using the most often. But I think especially in solo play and the rotation I'm recommending, more often than not, Pledge of Duty is going to be better than Pledge of Power. And is always going to be better than Pledge of Brilliance. So, I'm going to pop that on. We're going to find a Ancient Protector who hasn't been killed by Zimmy. We'll go with Zimmy. So let's head over to this guy here. So here comes the big one. Can we get that? There you go. Not even 2 strikes. I mean, I know it was right near the end of my rotation, but not even 2 strikes, and he was already dead. So that shows kind of how powerful Noble Onslaught is. Now, it does have a long cooldown. As you can see, I do have a little bit of cooldown reduction. I think it's about a minute, judging by that, and I only have a 9% cooldown. I can prove it to you. So you go, 9% cooldown. So I think it's about a minute cooldown on this. Now, the other thing you can do, because as you saw there, between Weapon Toss and Liberty Arc, you saw I was walking up to them to trigger Liberty Arc, because the thing about Liberty Arc, if you're starting the combat from a distance, which is where I think Hakon's Hammer works best, it's basically your first target grab. And the reason I put it in front of Weapon Toss is because actually the range for Hakon's Hammer is 22 meters, whereas this is only 17. So Hakon's Hammer, in terms of how far away you can be before you can start attacking, Hakon's Hammer is more than Weapon Toss, so they've probably reached you. But they've reached 17 or less by the time you're throwing Weapon Toss, so it's a lot more fluid. You don't have to move as closer, I find. They can come to you a bit more. So there's 2 ways of dealing with the issue of well, there's not really 2 ways. One way is that you don't use Weapon Tossed or Hakon's Hammer, and you instead go straight up and use Justice Slash, and then it would be the exact same as I showed you in the 25 one up close, just you'd use Noble Onslaught added at the end. So I'll show you that now, because I might be able to show you more of Noble Onslaught. Can I target this? Can I target? There we go. So I might be able to show you, I can hopefully show you a bit more of Noble Onslaught by doing that. Let's go up and smack this dude. So yeah, that's pretty much, I nearly got through nearly all of those that attacked. So that might work better in some situations, but if you want to keep your distance but you want to avoid the gap between them, you can use this skill here. Now, Rampant Charge I think works better as a first hit in crowd control, and I'll go into that more in that video, but I'm going to show how you can use it here. I actually never realised that they have the exact same artwork bar some colouring. That's a tad confusing. Oopsies. Right, so this may get a little. So I can time it. Wrong one. There we go. So you can see there. The only issue you can see there though is because it does knock down, it can affect your. It may not allow you to properly use Liberty Arc because they're already knocked down. So that's, which is a bit annoying because Liberty Arc does link into Justice Force and helps you stack up that skill bonus, decreasing defense by 5%. However, let's see if we can try again. Probably didn't help. I used Hakon's Grasp by accident. I have literally just before this video reorganized this into what I think is a much better. I think that I would recommend, although obviously tweak it as your playstyle. Tweak it as you see fit. This is how I'd recommend you lay out your skills, especially, I mean, even taking, I can't even think of a different playstyle that wouldn't benefit from having your single target rotation in a very long queue all on the bottom. I have no idea how, if we get any more skills at level 50, how any of those are going to affect it. Let's try one more time with the distance. So yeah, as you can see, the only issue with that one is you won't properly trigger just Liberty Arc if you're going to be doing it. I mean, you might be able to. Of course, I have it there. If you can remember to delay it, because Liberty Arc doesn't link with Weapon Toss, then that's fine. But for myself, because I'm so used to pressing the buttons in very quick succession, as you can see, I do overpress to make sure they do trigger properly. So that's why you see like cooldown in progress several times on this side. I personally find that doesn't help. But if you're able to do it better, then all the more power to you. So that's how your skill rotations are going to look at level 40. And yes, Noble Onslaught is very good. I do say in my guide that you may want to take this off the rotation. So if you're not wanting to have it in rotation, let's just move that there. You could have it there so it's triggered to one of your buttons if you're playing on action mode like I am. If you're not, I don't really know what to suggest because I don't play action. Maybe put it like up here with other skills so it doesn't like sit in your normal rotation. Because it does have that minute cooldown and sometimes you may want to save it, but I play quite aggressively. I basically just go up and smack things as hard as possible. I kind of play this more maybe than play this a bit berserkery maybe. But, so yeah, you can do that if you want, and then now I've got taming set to that. Ooh, I don't want to tame you, Ancient Protector. So yes, that is my skill rotations guide, now at level 40, so, yeah, the only thing that kind of... This one is a bit nicer than the crowd control ones, which is a bit bittier. Because you'll learn this one very early on, so you can start using Hakon's Hammer within two levels after level 25 in theory. And Noble Onslaught, you will have to wait till you get to level 40 before you can lose Noble Onslaught. But trust me, when you get there, it will be beautiful. So that's my guide. I hope you enjoyed, and look forward to the final guide where I show you how to crowd control at level 40, and I will show you how much easier it is to do it with the help of this beautiful skill here. See you then.